Alrighty, BitShooter, it is November 11th here in Denver, Colorado. I have not done a video since September 24th. It surprised me when I went, not for any special reason, I just haven't really fucking felt like it. Over that past time, I started to watch like 2 of the Angry Hobo videos and never felt, just not into it, nothing personal, dude, if you watch this. I just haven't felt like it. Been watching the news and crap, comedians on YouTube and shit like that. But Dane Wigington, Bill Donahue, that dude that gives a proper interpretation of the Bible, blah, 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 blah. A couple weeks ago, I went and got rid of these bottom teeth. I get my denture. They were just ugly. They weren't bothering me. They had to go. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about a bottom denture, see how it fits. But let's move on to the shit that counts. Okay, let's start out with an I told you but obvious moment because of the geoengineering and this the way the things are going on the planet. There's your Mississippi River. As of a week, 10 days ago, I haven't checked. It was at record lows in 3 states. One instance, a guy, I think I'm going to have a screenshot, but in case I don't, one guy that measures, working with measurement, states that in some places it's so low that their dipsticks or whatever don't measure it that far down. But the point is here, you got at least 11 states that dump water into the Mississippi River, and you do not need rain in all those states to keep the Mississippi up, but obviously we're not. And as I've said before, and Dane Wigington first mentioned the out-of-control weather loops because they fucked up with the geoengineering, the ocean and the atmospheric current so bad. And like I said, there's going to be a point where they can't or don't care to keep geoengineering stuff. And I guarantee you they could double and triple the snowfall here in the Colorado mountains. That will not resolve anything because of the snow melt, with the snow melt next year. Because as I stated in an article I showed and they put out there, the water is not on, the snowpack is not only evaporating, it's vaporizing. Now, why would it vaporize and become a different gaseous form if there was not chemicals in it and thus it wasn't all snow? Oh, it's like holy fucking. Like I said, they could triple the snowpack. That would help people along a river, but unless they're going to make it rain everywhere it needs to rain at least twice a week during the summers, and it does no fucking good, still dries up. But let's move on. We've all seen pictures like this. This is this is just a tributary. Look at the size of that fucker that feeds the Mississippi River. And that is the Platte River downstream from Kearney, Nebraska, and that's of October. So it's gotten worse since, well, don't look like there's any water in that fucking thing anyway. Okay, this is an article from CNN as of August. August, again, it's now in November. See how some rivers look from space. I didn't do all 6 of them, I don't think. Come on, focus. There's I think it's the Yangtze River in Asia. The Rhine River in the Alps. The Loire River in France. The Danube River in Western Europe. Italian glacier cover with... Dane Wigington has mentioned this several times or for some time about, the idea to cover part of the Alps with tarps. They're really doing it. You could Google it. Come on, zoom in. Anyway, there's the tarps. I did the math. Let me pause here. Oops, I can't find it, but I took it. If I did the math right, the area they said they covered equals about 19 football fields, which isn't very much. In northern Italy, the Presina Glacier has lost more than 1/3 of its volume since '93. Oh, I'm going to show this. This is how far back when I last watched, I believe this was a Lodge Richie from Boston video. I forgot to take a screenshot, but he shows how he took a picture of the mountains and actually caught an EMP container. So I Googled it at the time. EMP provides one of the largest service networks for domestic containers, serving most of the major cities of the United States, and to prove how details. Where's the date? Where's the date? Oh, October. That was the last one. October 24th is when I took that screenshot. Oh, that's not right, because when I push details, it's pulling up that screenshot or picture I took there, the triple demic, October 24th. But the reason I'm showing that is because I've repeatedly said since they got done with the original COVID thing, they will not do it again. We're not going to be all masked up and told to go home and shutting down businesses. They got the agenda going as per requirement. Dane Wigington started reporting on this like a month ago. Some scientists found an ozone hole over the, God dang it, them warmer climates. Where people vacation. I'm brain farting. I don't have it here in the article. But at first, all the other scientists were saying, no, no. Now they're all saying, well, it's been there for 30 years. It's been there since the 80s, and we've never noticed before. What a crock of shit. And of course, the shit that's going to happen and keep on happening, grizzly bears starving in Canada, is climate change, geoengineering continues. Okay, let's look at fair porn that came out a few weeks ago. America is going to shut down if we shut down the Mississippi River. CEO of American Commercial Barge Lines, bullshit, not going to happen. As of others have said, they'll switch to trucks and trains, which is slower and more expensive, but it's fear porn. Okay, this stemmed off what might be, it's been a while, but this is that video Richie did. The Russian troops were invading here and all that dumb shit. Anyway, there was a really short video, like 12 seconds, supposedly showing something like an 8-mile-long convoy headed somewhere, but let's pause here. Oh, here it is. So I Googled it up after Richie talked about it. Chinese military convoys entering Ukraine from Russia. From who else? Hal Turner, one of the biggest bullshit artists out there. And that goes along with the other thing he brought up. Earlier today, we reported military convoys were headed to Beijing. Now we report thousands of soldiers are going into the streets of London. Remember that? That came from who else? But what's that buttfuck's name? Oh, Marfugel. Yeah, he's a big Hal Turner fan. He tried to use Hal Turner as evidence that his Operation Hot Musket was legit shit. God, what a bunch of fucking punks, and people eat this shit up. Headline of an article. It was over the tropics. The new ozone hole and why scientists aren't too worried about it. Give me a fucking break. This is what people need to be prepping for, is lack of water, fucking heat, and food, of course. But let's move on. The Western Arctic Ocean's acidifying 4 times faster than normal. Blah, blah, blah. Pause. As in everywhere else, heat waves in warmer seas, rivers, lakes, food web changes, increased foods, floods, droughts, as well as other freshwater habitat. The freshwater stuff. There was a couple on the news over the summer months where certain lakes, you couldn't drink out of it because it was too hot, too shallow, no fresh water, so you get the green algae or that other bacteria. Anyway, this is from Canada and it's around the world. These 2 pictures are like a month old, but for those that hate Colorado, Colorado is #1 for car thefts. All this year, and I think last year. What else we got to brag about in Colorado? Colorado outpaces the U.S. in Omicron booster doses. I took these 2 screenshots like 3-4 weeks ago. Okay, now here, listen to how they explain its greenhouse gases and not the geoengineering, the aluminum and everything else in the atmosphere. Dane Wigington got this right recently as they realized, a couple of scientists admitted it, that this shit's actually keeping heat trapped on the Earth. This, again, like that bullshit movie 2012 to propagandize people and to think global heating results in global cooling. Rising amounts of greenhouse gases are preventing heat radiating from Earth's surface and from escaping into space as freely as it used to. Most of the blah, blah, blah. It's passed back to the oceans. Not just the oceans, but everywhere else. But it's just fact. Once the oceans, they can't hold something. Matter of fact, they're probably already full. And they're spewing that shit back out. And we got, of course, happening naturally, another triple El Nino. Now, to me, this kind of stuff's just bullshit. This is from February 21. Colorado euthanized 120 bears last year, so that'd be 2020. Mama bear, 4 cubs euthanized in Aspen. It's a mountain town, expensive. This was in August. This is from August 22. Colorado's killed 63 bears this year. Urges bear-proofed homes. Fuck the people. If you want to live in bear country, then you suffer the bullshit. They need to hire hunters to go after these people. But anyway, there's some recent pictures. I just took this within the last probably like 3-4 weeks ago. These were the Canadian bears that are starving to death. They do. What did they show all over the news recently, which is why Wigington brought this up, is there is one river, I forgot where the hell they said it was, where the bears are fat because there's actually still water there and fish. Matter of fact, Canada's had a river where something like 63,000 salmon is up and died. They can't live in that water, people. This is a slightly updated weather outlook. Oh, where did I take this from? Is that NOAA? Yeah, NOAA. Those tans and browns are where it's going to be above normal. The white is normal, and the greenish shit's colder. But look at that. Look at all that warmer. And like they said about the Mississippi area, is that they're already expecting a dry outlook, so don't expect no fucking water to come back. The Salton Sea is drying up and turning to dust. Some blame climate change and heat for drying up the lake. No fucking shit. But others blame agriculture. Well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we know why there is not rain, why there is not snow, and why the snow is not snow. And I'm sure we all started hearing about this a couple months ago, Great Salt Lake drying up, but that affects, I don't know, what they say, 10, 20, 30 million migratory birds, and the ones that were nesting on some island can't do that no more because the coyotes can walk out there and eat them and their eggs. Now, I got to take this article the way it's written. It says the Midwest has seen the worst deterioration with the amount of area covered in drought increasing by an area of 60,000 square miles, equivalent size. So that's not saying it's now 60,000 square miles. As it states, it increased by 60,000 square miles. That's fucking a lot. I forgot what the other terms they've came up with recently, but now Australian farmers have to prepare for a wet drought, which means as the droughts dry off their crops, they're going to make sure they dump enough rain on them to wash them away. Not just drown them and flood them, but it said in the article, wash them away. Throw in one of the pictures of the barges in one of the tributaries, or where they load them, where they can't get out because the water's too low. Okay, this is a roughly 1 minute clip. It's from Stokely and Zach. It's an audio from their broadcast here, but listen to how they're talking about the weather in Denver or Colorado, whatever, and how it's reported nationwide. And they are not talking from the geoengineering point of view, because I don't know if they even know about it, but they wouldn't. Anyway, let's listen to this.
Good. Yeah, I got a text early this morning from my mom. She's like, how much snow did you get? Are you going to be good luck with the shoveling? I went, what are you seeing back there for how much we got? Oh, it looked like you got close to a foot in some spots. I'm like, yeah, maybe up in the mountains. It's amazing how they present Colorado to the rest of the country like all we are is buried under snow from like Halloween through Easter. Oh, I know, which is great, right? Which I think it used to keep people away, but people are moving here all the time, and it's so crowded. But bottom line is, like snow and weather, just that moves. That is just that gets ratings. So, the Weather Channel or whatever, man, they'll throw it up there, and you'll be up there at Evergreen or, up somewhere in the mountains, and it'll be like, oh, it's snowing like a banshee, and they'll have some dude, Jim Cantor, be out there, and it's just ridiculous, but yeah,
That is just fucking hilarious, but that's how it works, regardless of a state, a city, a nation, the snows, the rains, the heat, put out the agenda the way they want it. And these guys caught it, even though they're not talking about in relation to the heat waves or the floods and the geoengineering, but there it is.